Hello. So diet is half the battle when it comes to keeping athletes on top of their game. You need to keep in mind that the best diet for one athlete may not be the best for another athlete. So when setting up a diet, you need to focus on the caloric intake and what makes up those calories, meaning carbohydrates or your proteins or your fats. So the recommended diet consists of 45 to 65% being carbohydrates, 20 to 35% being fats, and then 10 to 35% being proteins. And as I look at my goals this off season, I'm trying to lose some of the fat that I put on during the summer while building a little bit of muscle mass as well. So the diet that I've set up was a 2,000 calorie diet with 54% being carbohydrates, 28% being proteins, and 18% being fats. I chose 18% and 28% for my proteins and fats because the 18% for fats kind of helps me keep a healthy amount of fats in my diet while still trying to lose it, so I cut back on my fats a little bit from what I normally ate, while the 28% proteins helps me keep the muscle maintenance going and helping rebuild the muscles. So trying to find out the percentage or how much calories per carbohydrates or proteins or fats there are out of the 2,000 calorie diet. And so multiplying it across, you get 1,080 calories for my carbohydrates. We get 560 for my proteins, and then 360 for my fats. And there are 4 calories per gram in my carbohydrates and proteins. So you divide that by 4, and then there's 9 calories per gram in fats. So you divide that out as well by 9, which gives us 270 grams is how much I would ingest in a day for my carbohydrates, with 140 grams for my proteins, and then 40 grams for my fats. And as I weigh 72.73 kilograms, so to find out my grams, the amount of per gram per body weight, you would divide it by 72.73 kilograms. Which then gives us, for my carbohydrates, 3.71 grams per kilogram. For my proteins, gives us 1.93 grams per kilogram. And then for my fats, gives us 0.55 grams per kilogram. Okay. So as I break it down throughout the day, breakfast I need to eat, otherwise I get sluggish right before lunchtime. And then you get hangry and cranky and all that bad stuff. So breakfast, I would keep it 30 grams of protein, as some mornings we do have morning late workouts, so I need to ingest that protein in the morning right after the workout. 75 grams would be my carbs, and then 10% or 10 grams would be my fats. My lunch is my biggest meal of the day, though, as I have more time to do this, to make my lunch, or if I'm just at the school and I can hit the calf, then I can just sit there and eat a bigger lunch. So here I would ingest roughly 50 grams of proteins, 140 grams of carbs, and then 15 grams of fats. And then my dinner, as some days we do have afternoon workouts now that we're in the off season, I will try and ingest the bulk of my proteins here to try and help rebuild the muscle right after a workout. And I get this by chocolate milk, any sorts of meats, poultry, all that fun stuff. So here will be 60 grams of proteins, 55 grams of carbs, and then 15 grams of fats. So it's important to eat the correct amount of calories, because if you eat too little, then you can start to lose some of your fats or your body tissue, and it can be good for, depending on like someone like me where I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight, then I can be in that caloric deficit to get to that target weight. But if you do eat too much, then you can gain the weight. Maybe it's unwanted, or maybe you do want to gain it, so you put yourself to eat more calories than you burn throughout a week. So when ingesting carbohydrates before, during, and after exercise, it's important to know the proper intake for them. So before exercise, you should have some simple sugars about 45 minutes to an hour prior to the exercise, while during should be a sports drink that contains roughly 6 to 8% carbohydrates. And then after should be 1 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight within 30 minutes of completion of exercise. So that's why a lot of people like chocolate milk is beneficial, and that is probably the best thing for you right after a workout. It's better than protein shakes, the supplements, all that stuff, because it gives you all of your carbohydrates, your proteins, and some of your fats as well. And then vitamin supplementation, it helps the athlete maintain or obtain the necessary vitamins that they don't really get from their diet. And then the sufficient amount of fluid needed to maintain hydration is important prior to exercise, during exercise, and after exercise. And when it comes to prior to exercise, your hydration, should not be drinking so much to where you have to use the bathroom 4 to 5 times within the hour before your competition. You shouldn't be drinking so little that you don't go to the bathroom within that 1 hour before, because then you're not going to be your optimal hydration. You won't be able to perform the best you can. So you want to shoot for 1, max twice going to the bathroom during that hour before your competition to help you get the best out of you.